Let me ask you one question. If Max Verstappen's instincts were good enough to help build 4 World Championship winning cars, why aren't they good enough to help fix one? That question has been stuck in my head ever since Red Bull technical director Pierre Waché said this: "We do not build a single-seater based on the wishes of a single driver. We always try to make the fastest car possible. If we only listened to Max, he would probably feel more comfortable, but he would also be slower." But back in the days, the very same Pierre Waché has also admitted, Max indicates things that influence him more than we can imagine, things we can't reproduce in the simulator. Think about that for a second. Max felt problems their own simulator couldn't detect. So why does the conversation feel so different today? Suddenly, we're hearing that the car may have become too focused on Max, that it needs to work for both drivers, that chasing one driver's preferences has its limits. Funny. Nobody seemed to have a problem with that philosophy when Red Bull was winning almost every race. Maybe that's not hypocrisy, but it certainly feels like a contradiction. But if you're a Max fan like us, it certainly feels like it. Formula One cars aren't just numbers on a screen. It's vibration, balance, confidence, tiny movements through the steering wheel that only the driver can feel at over 300 kilometers an hour. That's why Red Bull trusted Max's feedback so much. His instincts helped shape the RB18. They helped perfect the RB19, the same RB19 that won 21 out of 22 races. Back then, nobody said Red Bull was listening to Max too much. Instead, Max's feedback was treated almost like engineering gold. But success has a funny way of hiding problems. Here's something most fans like us never think about. The greatest drivers don't just win races. Sometimes, they hide problems that nobody else can. Imagine a building with tiny cracks in its foundation. Every single day, someone paints over those cracks. From the outside, the building still looks perfect, until one day, it doesn't. That's what Max may have been doing for Red Bull. His talent was so extraordinary, he could drive around problems other drivers couldn't, and as long as he kept winning, those problems never looked urgent. Because if Max could handle them, how serious could they really be? That question worked, until it didn't. Long before today's crisis, Sergio Perez was already complaining.
Yeah, it's been a pretty tough year because especially normally when you have a bad car, then it's what it is. You know, you have a bad car and you try to maximize what you have. But here the car was very fast, very competitive.
Most people blamed Checo. The conclusion was simple. Max was winning, Checo wasn't. So the driver must be the problem. But then something changed.
Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. Max Verstappen into the gravel. Max Verstappen from the podium. Unbelievable.
Yeah. One time, okay, but 2 times, it's becoming dangerous for myself. Yeah, it's just painful, frustrating. You're trying everything you can.
Okay, Max, let's retire the car, please. Retire the car.
Anything that I need to press?
No.
Even Max started saying the same things. The front wasn't responding the way he wanted. The balance disappeared from corner to corner. The car became harder to predict. Suddenly, those complaints didn't sound so crazy anymore. Because when the greatest driver on the grid starts describing the same weaknesses, maybe the weaknesses were always there. Maybe Max had simply been hiding them. And this is where things become interesting. For years, Red Bull praised Max's extraordinary sensitivity. But once the car stopped dominating, the conversation slowly changed. Now we hear, the car can't be built around one driver. We need a wider operating window. We need something both drivers can use. Now, to be fair, that's a completely reasonable engineering goal. Every team wants a car that both drivers can maximize. But here's what feels strange. The same Max Verstappen, who once helped Red Bull build championship-winning machines, is still sitting in the cockpit today. So if his feedback was trusted when Red Bull were winning, why does it suddenly feel like it's part of the debate now that they're struggling? That's the contradiction many fans are noticing. Not because Red Bull has blamed Max, they haven't, but because the messaging has changed, and we can see it. This isn't really a story about blame. It's about something much more fascinating. Can a team become so dependent on an extraordinary driver that they mistake his genius for the health of the car? Because as long as Max kept delivering miracles, nobody noticed how narrow the operating window had become. And when the miracles finally became harder to produce, the focus shifted from the machine to the man driving it. Today, those same instincts are warning that something still isn't right. Maybe Red Bull is listening. Maybe they're not. Only the people inside Milton Keynes know the answer. What do you think? Has Red Bull stopped trusting the instincts that once made them champions? Let me know your thoughts. And as always, thanks for watching.